Hi and welcome to Edge of Play's Back to the Tactics board and this European Championship special. The information in these videos has been mainly sourced from the World Soccer magazine, which has got a great European Championships special in there, BBC Sport and various other media outlets as well. In each video we try to look at the qualifying records, the tactical approaches, the strengths and weaknesses. Today we are going to look at Group D, which features Croatia, Czech Republic, England and Scotland. Croatia first of all then. In qualifying they came top of Group E, you can see their record there, finishing ahead of Wales. In terms of their approach, it's usually a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Positive, attacking, aggressive style, offensive fullbacks pushing on. The coach is DALIC, who obviously got them to the final last time, beating England in the semi-finals. DALIC has never had a wider range of player at his disposal. The youngsters are hungry for affirmation. That's from Robert Solar, a journalist. And that's kind of the interesting thing here, really. They've got a young group of players coming in alongside more experienced players, and it's about how well they'll do. They're confident after 2018, they've got this nice mix of youth and experience, but are they a team in transition? Is this going to come too soon, this tournament, for the younger players? Are they too dependent on Modric, who 34, is he 36 now? You know, he's a fantastic player still. Do they have enough backup for him? Are they ready to cope without him? Will he be able to find that same form again? He's a world-class player, so he may well be able to. Quarterfinals, you think, could be an expectation for them, but you know, they could say they'd be going to win it, to try and do better than they did at the last tournament. But they've had several players, key players, retire since then, so it'll be an interesting one to see how the young lads do and if they step up. Here's the squad then. I've highlighted Luka Modric and Ivan Perisic, who are two established, excellent players, but there's lots of young, upcoming talent in that squad. On to the Czech Republic then. In qualifying they came second to England. They actually beat England one of the games, but still finished 6 points behind them. They're known to have a high energy pressing game, usually play something based around a 4-2-3-1 shape and a short passing game. So the coach says the shape of the formation before the match is not essential. The players move on the pitch. Strikers must defend and defenders have to attack. Hard work is crucial to achieve success. Again, like if you've seen the Group A and Group B videos, you'll know that seems to be a general pattern, and the coaches are saying it's not about the formation, it's about how the players adapt to the changing patterns of the game. In terms of pros, well, they're growing in belief, they've got team spirit and are hard working, but there are weaknesses in defence there, and you think against the stronger sides, is that going to be more evident? Is there enough high level quality to trouble stronger sides? That's where the question would be. If you look at the goals for column from qualifying there, England scored 37 goals in those games, the Czech Republic scored 13. You know, are they going to be able to score enough goals at this tournament? So you'd say group stage or qualifying third place maybe is an opportunity as the highest placed losing team. Here's the squad. I've highlighted SILHAVY at the back, not because he's a world-class player, but he's a regular centre-back for them, someone they rely on. The problem they have is who plays alongside him, and Thomas Souček for West Ham had a great season in the Premier League this year. You'd expect him to be important to the team. On to England then. England finished top of the qualifying group. You saw that just there with Czech Republic. They finished ahead of the Czech Republic. And they usually have been either 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3. It's kind of varied since the last tournament. They tend to build through the thirds. They do press against certain sides, but when it comes to the stronger sides in the tournaments, sometimes they end up just dropping off more and being a bit more conservative about that. Southgate says we talk about tactical systems, but during the game the players have to adapt and adjust. The game is so fluid and players have got to make sure they make good decisions. A bit like the Czech Republic coach said as well, it's not so much the formation but how players adapt. England have real strength in depth. There was a lot of competition to get in the squad, and they've got some emerging talent, and I should add as well they've got the home games, and if they get through and can go all the way, semi-finals and final are all at Wembley Stadium, so that should be a real advantage for England potentially. Some of the downsides, have they gelled as a team yet? The games in the build-up to the tournament weren't so useful because the players that have been in the Champions League final, for example, weren't playing in that game, so Chelsea City players weren't involved, and it just feels like Foden's emerging, but we haven't seen that much in an England shirt. Grealish, incredibly creative player, we haven't seen loads of him in the first 11 of the England team. So we haven't really seen what we are our best yet. So what is the best 11? this could be an issue, or it could be that it finds itself during a tournament. Historically, England are poor in possession against the top sides in knockout stages, so they can have lots of confidence going into a tournament, come out of a group, but then play one of the top dogs, if you like, of world football, and at that point won't keep the ball very well, ends up on the back foot and struggling. Will that happen again? You know, I know people are hoping not. We'll see. I mean, after getting to a semi-final last time, the expectation, the natural progression from there would be to get to a final. But it'll be tough because there's several teams that really believe they can get there. The England squad then, it's packed full of ability. The question is how many of those players are out-and-out world-class players. There's a lot of good upcoming emerging talent, certainly, and very high-level player. I've actually highlighted Harry Kane because he's England's striker, they're number 9, and you'd think he'd need to be having a good goal-scoring tournament for England to do well. I've also then highlighted Foden and Grealish, who might not even be in the first 11, but it feels like they're such incredible players potential-wise, and coming off the back of really strong seasons, that if they find a way to fit them into a system and they're able to get near to their best ability in this tournament, they could be the difference between England being another also-ran or actually stepping up and really putting a top-level team under pressure. On to Scotland then. They qualified via the Nations League. They came top of a mini group, as you can see there, and then beat Israel and Serbia in playoffs, both on penalties. I think, owing to their history, where they've been, nearly made it so many times, and where they've just missed out and had this kind of thing of plucky loser in the big games, where it's so unfortunate. And despite being from England, I generally support Scotland in their endeavours and want them to do well. And so yeah, it was nice to see them do that, come from a penalty shootout and actually make it and say, you know what, we don't have to be the unlucky ones, we can do this if we believe. The formation seems to be a 3-4-1-2. I think part of that is to accommodate Tierney and Robertson on the left, because they have two really excellent left backs and they wanted to be able to get them both involved. The team generally, it's hard working, it tries to be hard to beat, it's compact. Steve Clarke, the coach, said the players deserve all the credit for getting to Euro 2020, but he goes on, I want them to be consistently successful and not just qualify for one tournament. He talks about they don't want another 24 years or so until the next qualify. It's about now sustained ability to qualify for tournaments and push on from there. The pros, well, the euphoria of being back in a big tournament. They've been nearly men for such a long time. There must be a feeling there, now we're there, we can just enjoy it. The kind of pressure's off a bit, just go and see what we can get. And they must have gained belief from those penalty shootout wins, and going into a tournament, that's not a bad thing to be good at. The downside, where will the goals come from? Will they be able to get goals? They might be able to do that in the group stage if they were to get through the highest level. Have they got enough goals in this team? And obviously there's a lack of tournament experience, but you only get that by playing in tournaments, so this could be a chance for them to build that and then go into the next tournament if they can qualify and be more ready for it. So can they qualify from the group? It's definitely possible, of course it is. Even qualifying from third in the group, maybe that's more realistic. They would start behind England and Croatia, certainly, in terms of the chances you'd expect them to get through, but football's football. They could win the group, we know that. They'll love playing against England, that'll be a cracking game, I'm sure. And let's see what happens. They have got home games as well. Not all 3 group games, actually, for some reason one's in London, I think, but they have got 2 home games which could help them too. And there's the Scottish squad. I've highlighted Robertson from Liverpool and Tierney from Arsenal. Very good players playing in the Premier League, and Scott McTominay's had a really good season for Man United as well. And so you look through there, and there's players coming in now. John McGinn as well from Villa, Shay Adams, the Southampton striker. It feels like it's a squad that could beat anyone on their day. So it'll be interesting to see. So there's Group D: Croatia, Czech Republic, England and Scotland. How do you think it'll play out? Who do you think will win the group? Who's going to qualify? Is anyone going to have a disaster? How far do you think England can go? Do comment on the socials, and I look forward to seeing you when we look at Group E.